I'm very excited to share Ren with all of you guys today. I'm always talking to you about nutrition and how important nutrition is in your life. But really, when it comes to being healthy all around and feeling great and looking great, it takes a whole lot more than just food. Definitely nutrition and, fitness come into play, and sleep come into play, and stress come into play. And by really addressing at least a couple of those at once, you're going to see some pretty big, changes in your own life. So I hope that you guys are all at home and comfortable. I have my comfortable clothes on. Hopefully you guys do too. You're hanging out. Maybe you have a snack. Maybe you're snuggling with your dog on your couch. I'm hoping everyone's nice and comfortable because we're going to get into some juicy information that I do not want you guys to miss. So to kick things off, I want to start just by thanking our special guest for joining us tonight. Ren is a certified fitness trainer and owner of Fitness Jones Training here in Charlotte, but he also works with people virtually all over the country too. Is that right?
That's exactly right. All over the world.
It's awesome. So he's an all-star, and he's going to help educate everyone online tonight with his top 5 reasons why your fitness plan is not working or is not giving you the results you want, despite all the effort and time you're putting in, busting your butt in the gym. So Ren and I met at Title Boxing. He was my trainer there. I love it. The first time I went, I just fell in love with boxing. It was amazing. So I see him pretty much once a week. He's an amazing trainer. And we have a similar philosophy about nutrition, which is especially why I really like him and what he has to offer, because we're on the same wavelength. There's a lot of health coaches and fitness trainers that definitely have a different approach to nutrition, more eat this, don't eat that, very strict rules. But if you've been following me for any amount of time, or Ren, you know that we have a looser approach to it that's just as effective but way more delicious and fun. So I want to flip it over to you, Ren, just to tell everyone, introduce yourself, tell everyone about who you are and why you do the things you do.
Oh, hey, thanks so much. First of all, thank you so much, Samantha, for allowing me to be on with your audience today. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited. I've been excited all day. My name is Samantha Sayers Ren Jones. I'm a certified personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I'm a certified sport and exercise nutrition coach through an organization called Precision Nutrition. And I'm a certified online personal trainer. I got my online certification through the Online Training Academy, which is sort of splintered off from the Personal Training Development Center, PTDC. And right now, I'm actually in the last couple of weeks, thank you, Jesus, in the last couple of weeks of studying for my corrective exercise specialist certification. And one of the things that I do that's unique is I train people all over the world through the internet. And I love that so much. So I wear a few hats. I got into this business through, sort of family circumstances, not all that unsimilar to Samantha. And we actually found this out when she was a guest on my live session. Sort of family issues sort of led us both into what we do now. Unfortunately, my older brother passed away due to a heart attack several years ago, about 10 years ago now. And my older sister died from addiction. She drank and got into a car and she hit a tree. And my mother died due to circumstances, complications from a stroke. So, I'd always been into fitness. I'd always loved telling people about what things they should eat and how to exercise and be healthy. And trauma isn't the right word, but those sort of circumstances pushed me over the ledge and say, how many other little brothers or sons out there are going to have to go through these same set of circumstances because of lifestyle-related choices? Because, my brother's death was really a function of a lifestyle-related choice. My sister, my mother, God rest her soul, the woman smoked like a freight train. She worked excessively. She stressed all the time. She never put herself first. And I feel like if I can give the people out there some information, some knowledge, if I can motivate you, inspire you, make fitness fun for you, perhaps I can save your sons and daughters and little brothers or older brothers or family members from having to deal with circumstances that arise due to lifestyle-related choices, because it's really 9/10 of what you go through health-wise is going to be based on your choices. And Samantha, would you say you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. A lot of people like to blame other things because it's easier to come up with excuses and stories for why you don't do the things that you know you should be doing and whatnot. But it's, you've got to make yourself a priority in your life or you're not going to live the life you want to live. I totally agree.
So that's sort of my spiel. That's how I got into the industry. It's always important for me to tell that story because it gives an awareness of where my center point of coaching comes from. I'm not an ex-Division I athlete. I'm not a football player. I'm 5'7" and like 165. I'm a lightweight. I'm not an ex-military guy. So everybody has a different style. No style is wrong when it comes to fitness and wellness. You just gravitate towards the thing that makes the most sense for your life. And I have a tendency to attract people with whom my story resonates. And if you guys are out there in business, here's a business tip for you. Always be as transparent as possible because your story will attract your business, no matter what business that's in, especially if you're business for self. I give that one away for free. That's number 6 on the list of things I'm going to give you today.
Bonus. You're already getting bonuses and we're just starting. Ren is always filled with tips and tricks. So whenever I'm in class with him, he's always giving us little tips and tricks, bonus pieces of information. It's a very educational class as well as an amazing workout. So yeah, that was awesome. Thanks so much. And I definitely do agree with that. And I feel like you're right. You do tend to attract people that are similar. Like when I was in school to get my certification to become a health coach, I was hearing all these stories about people that have lost 100 pounds, 200 pounds. I'm like, I don't have a story like that. I was never super overweight and lost a bunch of weight. Like that's not my story. And I think by putting that out there, I don't typically attract people like that. I attract more people with a little bit, less weight to lose, but that have all kinds of other problems with nutrition about staying on track and figuring out what's actually healthy and what's not and all the confusion out there. And just kind of doing what they want to do so they can live a happy and healthy life. So great tip. Great tip. So let's get into all of your other tips. I'm really excited for you to share them with me. I got a sneak peek at these 5 reasons and I love them all, every single one of them. And I'm really excited to hear what you're going to say about all of them because I think that they're definitely applicable even when thinking about other things in your life. It's not just fitness. This can apply to other areas. So keep that in mind as you hear what these things are. So the number 1 reason they're going to go over, and I don't know if these are in order, like this is the most important or if it's just one, but I think this is my personal number 1 overarching when it comes to anything in your life. And I think a lot of people, it isn't what a lot of people think it is, but tell us why mindset matters so much.
Absolutely. Mindset is everything. And I speak in analogies, by the way, guys. For those that aren't familiar with me, I talk a lot in analogies because I think analogies help us understand at a basic, gut level what we're saying. But number 1 is mindset because a lot of times you go into your fitness and wellness program with a mindset that it's not going to work. And guys, that's a killer off the top. And think about it this way. Think about it in a proposal sense. And I'll address on both sides. Now, Samantha's married. I'm not. I've not proposed to anyone ever in my life. But yeah, I think if it went something like, hey, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I've got a ring. I talked to your father already. Would you do me the honor of being my bride? And somebody said, I'll give it a shot. I'll try it. Like, I'm not going to be feeling gung-ho about the rest of that relationship. And as health coaches, we hear that a lot, sort of a non-committal committal. Well, I'll try it and see if it works. I'll give it a shot and see what happens. Guys, you are starting from the worst place possible right off the bat. And on the other side of that proposal, as a man, if I said, I kind of think I'm probably in love with you, I'm not really that clear on it, but I'll give a shot at marrying you. We'll see what happens. As a health coach, Samantha and I, we hear proposals like that all the time. Hey, I've tried things like this. They didn't really work. I don't know if this is going to work. I'll give it a shot. Your philosophy is a little different. I'm a little bit confused by it. I'm not sure that it's legit. I mean, but let's do a month and try. Guys, that is the absolute worst way to dive in with a marriage of wealth, health, and wellness, and you being the other person in that relationship. You are the bride or groom of your health and wellness, and you can't go into that marriage, sort of half kilter, like, I'll try it out. I'll give it a shot. It never worked before. I'll see what happens. When you decide that you're going to investigate health and wellness, really decide. Really decide and choose and pick it and dive in wholeheartedly 1,000%, because it's only going to benefit you in the long run, because things are going to come up that you don't enjoy in that process. There's no way around it. One of the things that I say a lot in the boxing classes, especially in the later rounds, is I'll tell the class something like to the extent of, hey, I know it's difficult, but that's why they call it change. If it was easy, they call it same. And guys, that's a phrase you can take throughout your life. Difficult things require you to be a different person approaching things with a different mentality. So number one is definitely mindset. Make sure that you've made a decision to go in 100% when you start, because you do yourself a disservice. Samantha and I are both excellent coaches, but we're not that good. We're not good enough to take a 40%er and take them through, a lifetime worth of health and wellness. We both have the philosophy of rendering ourselves obsolete in your wellness journey. I know that about Samantha because I've had a conversation with her. We want to work ourselves out of a job of being your health coach. We don't want you coming back every 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. We want permanency in what we do, and we can't get there if you jump in at 40%. And Samantha, that's really what I mean when I say mindset is number one. Yeah,
no, I absolutely love it. I think that hits it perfectly, because ultimately your thoughts drive your feelings that give you your actions, that give you your results. So if you're thinking, I don't really know if this is going to work, I don't really know, I've tried a lot and I failed a lot, you're going to feel kind of down. And then it's going to be really easy to justify, I don't really need to go work out this morning. I can just eat this cupcake or two in the office. And then your results reflect those actions. But instead, you change your thought, which everyone out there has the power to change your thoughts. You can change them instantly and in a second. All you need to do is decide. But if you go in thinking, this is going to work, this is going to be the great thing, instead, now you're feeling pumped, you're feeling excited, you're feeling motivated, and that drives your actions of getting to that early workout, choosing the healthier option, and that will give you the better results. So huge mindset fan over here. If you change your mind, you can change your life, you can change your body, you can change anything. It all starts in your head. So 100%. Thank you for that one. 100%. And number two is something that I also run into all the time in this industry. We can call it the C word. Tell us what the C word is. Oh man, this is a big deal. I'm like you. I'm tossing back and forth between number one being my number one or this one being my number one. And the C word that we're talking about, guys, is consistency. Consistency is so rare these days that when people apply it, it looks like magic. You see that magical before and after on Instagram. You see that magical story of like the gentleman from Pursuit of Happiness. It's like it's magic that at one point the Will Smith character was running through the streets, sleeping in bathrooms with his little boy, and then at the end he's like a gazillionaire. He gets a big job. But what we lose in this sort of the instant microwave society of today is the progression and consistency required to gain said progression. And you can almost guarantee success if you're consistent in any endeavor. And where consistency gets bogged down is with another dirty little word, and that's perfection. Perfection is the enemy of consistency. Because what will happen is a lot of times you'll jump on a program and you'll say, day one, cold turkey on sugar. I'm cold turkey on soda. Nothing but water. Baked chicken and kale. I'm going to work out 6 times this week. I'm going to do cardio 3 times and do strength training 3 times.
I'm going to go to bed at 8:30 p.m. every night and get up at 5:30 every morning. And you set up this grandiose idea of what fitness and wellness is like, and you crack under that. And the first time you miss one of those super important, unrealistic things that you set up, you fall by the wayside. You totally fall off the wagon because I'm not perfect, so I might as well stop. And that's to your detriment and the complete opposite of consistency. Let me give you an example of what consistency is in health and wellness. Monday, I go and smash my workout. I eat great. Tuesday, I do my workout. Ho-hum, it was pretty good. I had a slice of cake. I don't feel great about it. Wednesday, I'm dead tired. These kids are driving me crazy. Work is terrible. I'm not going to exercise today. I'm going to eat whatever I want. Thursday, I feel horrible. I feel like I'm sick. I feel so disappointed about what I did on Wednesday. Friday, I'm back in the gym. I do my workout. It wasn't the best workout, but I got it done. Saturday, I did a great workout. And that's the ebb and flow of consistency. Consistency is not perfection. Consistency is a continuation of your goal set. It is stretching things out over a great period of time, really a lifetime. And what I tell my clients when they get disappointed by what they view as a lack of success in a minuscule amount of time, in a finite amount of time, is I tell them, look, your fitness and wellness journey is a lifetime thing. It's a broad, sandy beach. It's Myrtle in South Carolina. It's South Beach, Miami. It's a long stretch of beach. And what happens when you get overwhelmed or too concerned with a momentary issue? A cookie, that you ate, that you really didn't want to eat. Fast food that you stopped to get that day. When you focus on that, it's going to take you out of consistency, and it'll cause you to look at one little grain of sand on your finger. Out of the whole context of a beach, you can't see any of the beauty of that beach because you're fully focused on one little single tiny grain of sand. And those types of mentalities are what take us out of consistency. Consistency isn't perfection. It never will be. But you want to make sure that you can continue to do the things that you start doing. And sort of the flip side of the consistency coin is sustainability. And I know Samantha talks about that a lot. We have bad habits of starting things that we can't sustain. If you're going to drink a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then a sensible dinner, as the Slim Fast folks say, you got to think about whether or not you're willing to do that for the rest of your life, or if at some point you're going to want some eggs for breakfast, because you're starting your process with something that's immediately not sustainable. From day one, you can't do it forever. So that sustainability sort of funnels in to your ability to be consistent. So 2 tips there. Number 1, don't start things that you can't maintain. Take a habit at a time, master it. Get a second habit from Samantha or somebody like me, master it or toss it. I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to do this habit. What's the third habit? Go to the third one, master it. Keep the things that are efficient and that your life's not allergic to. Because we're just trying to help you find the most healthy things that don't cause an allergic reaction to your life. And once you get that set of things, man, that's the groove. You can live there forever. You never go back from it. One of my clients said something profound to me. She said, I just realized that I can never go back. I said, what do you mean? She said, I can never go back to the things that I did before, or I'll go back to the way that I was before. I was like, that is a great epiphany. So in remembering that, don't start anything that you're going to need to go back from. Because when you go back from that thing, you go back to who you were when you were or were not doing those certain habits. And that allows you to be consistent, being aware, having self-awareness that certain things aren't going to work for you, and having the dialogue, the transparency with your coach to say, I know this will never work for me.
Yes.
What else do you have? Yes. What else do you have that will work for me? Because we don't need you to impress us by following everything we say. We need to impress you by giving you things that work for you. We're both accountable to you. I'm accountable to you, and you're accountable to you. and setting things up in a way that will not allow us to hold long-term accountability, it's a recipe for disaster. So Samantha, consistency is definitely number 2 for me. Definitely.
I love it. There's so many things in there. I'm like, oh, I want to comment on that. Oh, I want to comment on that. And of course, I probably forgot them all. But I love that one so much. And I love how sustainability was a part of that, because I hear of so many people doing all these extreme diets. And I'm like, do you really want to never eat bread the rest of your life? Do you really never want to eat cake the rest of your life? Cake's amazing. Right. Why don't you eat cake anymore? And sometimes when they do follow something really strict and something pops up that isn't perfectly planned, that can derail them because it's so strict and rigid and isn't sustainable. Like, life isn't perfect. You're never going to have a perfect week where you can do everything perfectly and nothing pops up. Like, that's just not what life is. And you need to have something that is adaptable to when things come your way and when things get crazy. So 100%. I love that. And like you were saying about having like one thing derail you, like the classic self-sabotage, black and white thinking, perfectionist. I am a recovering perfectionist myself. I'm trying so hard. It's still a struggle, but I've come a very long way. Progress of perfection, that whole thing. But I used to, for fitness, I always tell my clients this, I used to work out 2 hours a day, which is very unhealthy. But then I'm like, okay, you can't do that anymore. Let's do 45 minutes. So if I couldn't get my 45 minutes in, I wouldn't do anything. I'm like, oh, right. 45 minutes is not even worth it at all. Yeah, I had 20, 25 minutes. I could have done something, but nope, can't be perfect, not going to do it. You know, and that was such a big mindset shift that I had to make, where I literally had to talk to myself like a crazy person and say, Sam, by doing a little bit of workout, it's better than just sitting on the couch. You're still getting your heart rate up. You're still going to feel amazing after. And that took me a really long time to work through, which sounds kind of ridiculous. But I know there's a lot of other perfectionists out there. So I want to tell you it's totally possible to overcome that and not let it sabotage you and hold you back.
Yes.
So the next one, number 3. I am obviously a huge fan of this one, Ren. Reveal to us what number 3 is about.
Oh, number 3 is a big deal. And, you know, as I'm thinking about the list, any of them could be like the most important thing. But nutrition, guys, nutrition. And I'm not going to get into nutritional philosophies per se, because if you guys know Samantha and you work with Samantha, you know, she's an expert in that field. So I'm not going to give you philosophies so much about types of nutritional protocol, so much as I am sort of an overall way to interact with your own nutrition. And that is right back to sustainability, guys. You know, there's a lot of nutritional protocols out there, a lot of them. And I don't address anyone over the other. I don't bash anyone over the other. Obviously, Samantha and I are similar in the fact that we don't present a meal plan, diet, or necessarily restrictive. You know, we're trying to add positives, not concentrate on digging out negatives, so to speak. So we both have the philosophy of let's add some fruits and vegetables in, you know, with your McDonald's apple pie. You know, let's add some water in, you know, in between the beers that you're going to chug this Saturday. You know, we're trying to get you to add positives instead of isolating negatives, because it's not healthy to isolate something to restrict. That never works. But having said that, we're both fairly dietary agnostic. And what I mean by that is that we're not religious with a dietary preference. You know, if you come to me, and I think Samantha's the same way, if you come to me and you're a vegan, I can coach that. You know, if you come to me and you're a pescatarian, I can coach that. You know, if you come to me and you love meat, I can coach that. I'm never going to say, yeah, but you really should only be eating this way. Or, yeah, but you should really be only eating this way. That's the beauty of habit-based intuitive eating. It works for whatever your religious protocol for nutrition is. And a lot of these protocols are like religion, you know. But the point here is it's not the protocol that puts you in a position to win. It's the protocol that works for you that puts you in a position to win. We've all seen, well, most of us have seen the fallout from the Netflix documentary, What the Health. You know, you probably have several people on your Facebook timelines that have been 72-hour vegans, you know, after watching it. condemning meat and donuts and gluten and all the buzzwords that the industry likes to feed us, no pun intended, about diet and nutrition. But guys, being a vegan is not going to work for everybody on the timeline. It's not. It's just not. There's no way. So I always want people to know it's not the protocol that creates the success. It's the sustainability of the protocol and how that protocol fits into your life that sustains success. I had an interesting conversation with a client about intermittent fasting. And they asked me, I'm thinking about doing intermittent fasting, but I heard it's dangerous or I heard it's bad. I said, well, who told you it's bad? She said, one of my friends who likes to eat all day. I said, well, you fit the protocol to your lifestyle. And in some cases, I've seen people who do intermittent fasting and it fits in their lifestyle because they're able to eat in the morning, but they have a job situation that doesn't allow them to have, a lunch or a snack at an appropriate time or the way that they wanted to. Say they're a machine operator or they're on a crane all day. I've got a guy that changes out light bulbs on high towers. Obviously he can't take a lunch break. He's like thousands of feet in the air. So intermittent fasting fits perfectly for his lifestyle. By the same token, there are some people that eat every 2 or 3 hours, and they're in a situation where they're able to do that. But if you switch those protocols, if I make the person who's got food readily available all day do intermittent fasting because intermittent fasting works, or if I make the intermittent fasting guy eat 3 hours a day, climbs 1,000 feet down off the tower to eat an apple, climb back up, 3 hours later he climbs 1,000 feet back down the tower to eat some turkey with cheese and drink some water, that doesn't work for him. So it's your nutritional protocol is much more based on what fits into your life than it is what the protocol is. So let me tell you something. Intermittent fasting, if you're in a fat loss protocol, is based on calorie reduction, being in a calorie deficit. Cutting carbs, Atkins, reducing carbs, it's based on a calorie reduction, being in a deficit. Being a vegan for the purposes of fat loss, it's based on calorie reduction, less calorie dense foods, more nutritional dense foods. Every protocol is about, for fat loss specifically, is about eating less calories than what you burn, being in a deficit, losing fat. They're all just a way to do that. Many pass through the woods to grandma's house. None better than the other. They all land on her porch. So that's my spill about nutrition. You guys can get the specifics from Samantha because she's an expert.
Oh, thank you. You're an expert too. But I will say the only thing I would even add on to that, and it directly affects that, is the fact that there is no magical one-size-fits-all diet that works for everyone when it comes to any type of thing, even healthy foods, fruits and vegetables. 90% of people have hidden food sensitivities to things like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, meat. And that was a huge game changer for me. Things like sweet potato. I used to love sweet potatoes and eat them all the time. But when I cut them from my diet and added them back in, I noticed, oh my gosh, I get bloated every time I eat sweet potatoes. But I'm like, oh, that's a healthy food. I should eat that, right? It's like, no, you have to listen to your unique body and figure out which foods work best for you and which foods fuel you the most. If there was a magical one-size-fits-all diet, we would be out of a job.
Right.
Luckily, I guess for us, there is not. But harder thing for all of you guys out there watching this is you're not going to find that magical diet that's going to work for you by Googling how to eat healthy or trying the next fad diet. It's just not, your body is too unique for that. So I think that's an important thing to kind of add on to that as well, but it's directly related to what you said.
Yes, I agree.
Fourth item on the list is something that I definitely used to be super, super guilty of. And it's something you say gets overlooked a lot on a regular basis, right?
Yes.
That.
And the fourth thing is rest, guys. And I throw sleep in there, but I don't mean sleep when I say rest. Both are so passive that people think that they're taking themselves away from their fitness plan when it's actually a part of your fitness plan. Rest isn't the thing that keeps you from exercising. Rest is it's the other side of the coin for exercise. And what happens a lot of times is people feel like the more that they do, the faster they're going to get to their result. And I told you guys I speak in analogies. I'll give you an example of that. And I think this will be pretty easy for everybody to get. Let's say you're baking a cake. I like cake. I live in a world where cake and squash coexist. Let's say you're going to bake a cake, and the recipe for the cake says you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for 1 hour. So you're going to bake your cake at 350 for 1 hour. Now, numbers-wise, you might say to yourself, okay, I'm baking at 350 for 1 hour. If I bake it at 700 for 30 minutes, I can get that cake baked in half the time. And if you've ever tried to bake a cake at 700 degrees for 30 minutes, you realize the numbers don't work that way in the physical universe. And that happens a lot with fitness. People think, oh, if I work out for 30 minutes a day, I can get here. But if I work out for 2 hours and 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, I can accelerate that progress. And it's the same thing that you're going to do when you burn that cake up. By turning the heat up twice as high, then you're going to cook it in half the time. It doesn't work that way in the physical universe. There are sort of 4 tires on your wellness plan, on your health. One tire is rest, the other is sleep, the other is nutrition, and the other is movement. And if either one of those tires isn't properly inflated, guys, your car is going to run off the road. You're going to eventually crash. The way that your body works with exercise is you tear it down a little bit, and then your body, when it's at rest, it builds it back up. You know, if you went to a doctor to get a health screening before a workout, the doctor would give you probably a clean bill of health if you're a healthy person, you know, and then you went and worked out and you came back after the workout and had another screening, all of your screening numbers would be out of whack. Your blood pressure would be elevated, cortisol would be through the roof. You'd have micro tears in your muscles, probably a little bit of damage to your joints, cartilage, tendons, et cetera, et cetera. You've damaged your body purposely and purposefully for the purposes of it coming back stronger. And the way that it comes back stronger is through the rest period. The rest is where all the changes occur to your body. So if you're gung-ho 7 days a week without a rest day, if you're doing 2.5 hour workouts, if you're not sleeping properly, your body doesn't get an opportunity to rest. And a lot of you, I won't say you, but there are a lot of people out there that are probably training to their own detriment because they're either overtraining or the other side of that coin is they're under-resting. They're not sleeping well. They don't have a rest day. They're training for too long periods of time. And it's causing your body to not be able to grow and change the way that it needs to grow and change. Everything that happens physically that's going to improve is going to happen at a point of rest with the aid of nutrition and sleep. And rest gets overlooked because we think it's something passive. You know, I can't tell you, if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. You know, I don't want to take a day off because it's going to throw me off of my fitness plan. No, taking a day off is your fitness plan. That's part of it. You know, the strongest people know how to rest to let their body recover. So that one's a doozy, Samantha.
Yeah,
rest.
It's counterintuitive when you think about it, you know, and I think that's a hard thing for people to wrap their head around. But that's so important. Like you were saying, that's when you recover and heal, and actually muscle grows when you're sleeping. So if you want to big muscles, you got to sleep, you got to rest, you got to let your body do what it needs to do.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a great one. I like that one a lot.
Absolutely.
And then last but not least, tell us how recognizing progress comes into play.
Man, this is so tricky. This is such a big deal. This happens a lot. So there's a lot of ways to chart progress, right? And most of us chart progress through scale weight. Typically when I get a client, I don't get a lot of clients that are asking me for muscle building. Typically they're looking for fat loss, loss of inches, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of times the only way that they know to factor their success is through the scale. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the scale. I'm not a big proponent of it's part of what I do, but it's not the entirety of what I do when recognizing progress. But unfortunately for a lot of people, the scale is the number one way that they're going to justify whether or not they're making progress. And that's a trap set by the fitness and wellness industry to keep you on a cycle of stuff. Weight Watchers, and no disrespect to Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, wraps, detox teas, cleanses, because you got those toxins and toxic sludge and rotting food in your colon is blah blah blah. In any case,
we can go on another one about that.
Yeah, that's a whole live by itself. But in the absence of progress, a lot of people quit. You work out for a month. You stick to your nutrition for a month, and you lose 1 pound, and you freak out. Because you should have lost way more than 1 pound, because Susie next door did a detox cleanse and she lost 15 pounds this weekend. And oh my gosh, I only lost 1 pound in a week, or 2 pounds in a month. And the lack of your ability to recognize other types of progress, like the fact that your belt is tighter now. You went one more notch in on your belt, or the shirt that was tight front to back, it's loose now on you. It feels a little loose. Or the fact that you can only do 1 push-up at the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, you can do 6 push-ups. Or the fact that when you walk up the stairs, you're not out of breath anymore. Or the fact that your husband or your wife says, hey, honey, I love what you've been doing. Hey, let's take a walk after dinner today with the kids. I'm really inspired by what you've been doing lately. Or the fact that you walk into your daughter's bedroom and she's 4 years old and you see her doing push-ups. And when you ask her what she's doing, she says, I'm getting strong like mommy. And then you have the audacity to say you're not making progress. All these things happening around you that you're the catalyst for. You're leading your family. You're getting healthier. You feel better. You think better. You're not as angry. Things don't tick you off as much. You've got greater flexibility. You're sleeping better. Your skin is clearing up, and you lose 2 pounds and you freak out and say, I'm at a plateau. You are by no means at a plateau. You are killing it. You're a rock star at that point. And you're only factoring progress through weight, and it'll cause you to quit because you don't see all the great things that are happening. And as humans, we're the last people to notice the good in ourselves and the first people to notice the bad. I don't know if you've had this experience, Samantha, because I don't know if you do measurements, but even myself, if I take my own measurements and say I'm working on my waistline and it goes down, I always measure it twice. Because I'm like, okay, let me make sure that I'm making progress. If I take that measurement and it goes up, I trust it. Oh man, I'm not doing well. I'm not killing it. Even with my clients, they know that if I measure a spot twice, they'll say, oh, that went down, huh? And I'll say, how do you know that? Because you measured it twice. Because it's hard for us to believe in the positive. And I don't know why that is, but we have to practice belief in self and self-positivity. We have to practice it. We have to say affirmations in the mirror, because we're the last person to recognize our own progress. We'll go to work and somebody says, oh, Samantha, you look like you're toning up. You've got a little more cut in your shoulder. Then you'll say, really? You think so? It's just human nature. Yeah. So that very act of not recognizing your progress, a lot of times will cause you to quit. It'll cause you to get frustrated. Because you're not progressing in one particular way. There are dozens of ways to know that you're killing it. And as a coach, it's sort of our job to help you recognize that progress and point that out to you, so you don't get down on yourself. And that's why I don't like, weight-based contests. The flip side of that coin is when you're chasing a goal weight, you'll almost do anything to get the weight to go down. And it's not always healthy. You can drink tap water in Cancun and your weight will go down because you'll have Montezuma's revenge that night. It'll be coming out of both ends. You can lose an arm or leg. You'll weigh less. You can take a space shuttle out into outer space. Weight goes down. Doesn't mean you're healthy. Challenge. Yeah. You can do a lot of things to get your weight to go down. Weight's not an indicator of health. And whatever that 3-digit number is that you have in your head, there is somebody right now at that number with hypertension. Mm-hmm. There's somebody right now at that 3-digit number with kidney failure. There's somebody right now at that 3-digit number with that's had a heart attack or stroke or can't lift their body weight. That number in your head is not an indication of health. Although as your health improves, you may get close to that number, but it's correlation, not causation. And you have to be aware of all the ways that you can progress so you can chart all those things to keep yourself in a healthy mind state, to notice your wins, because you need wins.
Yes.
You know, any long-term process, you need wins. Samantha and I need clients. We need people to comment and say, I really liked what you explained on that live session. Because guys, we get stuck in a rut too. We get in a rut of, man, where's my next client going to come from? You know, how am I going to sustain my business? Am I doing things right? Am I benefiting people? And we look for those little wins in a business way, the same way that we encourage you guys to look for those little wins in your progress. And if you don't have little wins, guys, if you don't have those little celebrations, you're going to fall off that wagon pretty quick. Nobody goes to work without getting a check for a long period of time. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to do that. Athletes don't practice without a game. You know, there needs to be an incremental reward along the way for you to continue to work hard. And nobody does fitness and wellness. There are few people that do it just because it's the thing that they do, which is a really great place to be, but we need something out of it. So that's how not understanding your own progress can cause you to fail at your fitness and wellness plan. Yeah,
no, I love that so much. And I think in general, we're kind of conditioned to think that if we try anything, we get results super fast. And if we don't see results super fast, then there's something wrong with me. What did I do? This isn't working for me. I clearly need to give up. Because that's what we're fed on a regular basis through social media, through magazines, everywhere we look. It's like you can lose this amount of weight in this many days. So it's like, well, I'm not. What's wrong with me? What's going on? And like, I always tell clients, I'm like, I could help you lose weight really fast. I could help you do that. Sure. But do you want that? Well, all those people that you keep posting on social media, they lost all this weight in a short amount of time. Are you checking back in with them in like 3 to 5 months? Like, that's what you got to think about. That's what you got to, it's not just about the now. Like, sure, if you want to lose weight for your vacation, okay, like that might be one of those things. You might want that Cancun water diet or whatever to get there really fast. But a normal person in normal life doesn't want to see weight loss happen for, you know, a couple months. They want to see themselves get to their happy and healthy weight for a long period of time. And there was one other little thing I wanted to share about the scale. And I completely agree with it. It's so much more about like body composition too, because like I've seen you post, a pound of fat weighs the same as a pound of muscle. Like there could be changes happening in there that you're not seeing reflect on the scale. So what's the point of that? I know for myself, when I used to weigh myself on a regular basis. And if I got on the scale and the number was lower than what I thought it was going to be, then that would be my excuse to eat whatever I wanted. Like, oh, it's lower. Now I have all this extra room where I can just, all these credits, I call them credits, or I can just eat whatever I want. But then if I saw a number higher than what I thought, then I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is stupid. It's pointless. I may as well just eat whatever I want because I've already failed. So either way, when I get on the scale, I'm leaving the scale thinking I get to eat a ton of food and whatever I want. It was totally messing with my mind, like hardcore, but it took me a long time to make that connection and realize it and stop the bleeding. But yeah, so I love that. So it looks like we have about 6 people on the live right now. I didn't know if anyone had any questions. If you're up to take a couple questions, if they send some over. All right. I
love it.
But yeah, if you guys watching this, if you're on the live right now, please comment on this video. If you have any questions that you want Ren to answer for you, he's an amazing resource. If you have any questions at all about your fitness, nutrition, mindset, you know, anything he talks about really or not, definitely shoot them in the comments. But you know, if not, that is fine as well. We can always have you check back in on the comments later if someone posts something later on the replay. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this? You gave so much helpful, useful information. If people's heads are spinning, like, where do I even start? What do you recommend for a starting point?
A good starting point, and in the absence of hiring a trainer or a fit coach or a fitness professional, a good start, I always suggest, find some great people to follow. And I'll tell you guys some folks that I definitely would suggest that you follow. If any of my followers are on here now, definitely follow Samantha. Absolutely that. Another great resource I love, because I didn't say this, but I mostly deal with female clients. My training niche is busy women, sort of age 25 to 55. that need a 30-minute workout or less, whether that be at home, at a gym, or with me. That's sort of my niche market. But Girls Gone Strong is a great resource. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They have a website. It's just Girls Gone Strong. I had the pleasure of meeting the co-creator of Girls Gone Strong. Her name is Molly Galbraith. And guys, they give great information about exercise tips, it just everything, mindset, you name it. That's a great, great resource for you guys. They're sort of not funded by, supplementation companies. I also recommend magazines. Before I was a trainer many, many, many years ago in the 90s, I subscribed to Men's Health magazine. Later on down the road, as I began working with women, I subscribed to Muscle and Fitness Hers, because the training portion of those books, they have really, really good workouts. And what you want in a workout is you want to get a workout from someone who actually knows what they're talking about. I will say stay away from Pinterest workouts. They're a mess 9 times out of 10. They post a lot of things that are worded the way that you want to hear it, like eight different exercises for reducing inner thigh fat. Like, guys, no such thing. Like, there's no such thing as a movement that burns fat. Yeah, from a body part. But they know you want that, so a lot of people will post things on there like that. I saw one yesterday that said, it said something like 5 great movements for lower tummy pooch. Guys, there's no such thing. Like, there's no such thing that gets specifically targets lower tummy pooch, but they know the language that you want to hear, so so that's how they populate these workouts. Pretty much everything that you see on Pinterest that says blank amount of workouts to target blank, BS. I always want to give my followers the ability to discern things. Discernment is a big thing. So when you see something posted by your neighbor or someone else on Facebook, you have enough knowledge. Maybe you're not a trainer. You don't have a trainer's worth of knowledge, but you do understand the basics enough to know that's not true. That's not going to work. So that would be the place that I would suggest to start. A good page to follow, maybe a good magazine subscription. And if all else fails in the realm of fitness, you can find me at fitnessjonestraining.com. I'm available. My page on Instagram is Fitness Jones Training. My page on Facebook is Fitness Jones Training. My website is fitnessjonestraining.com. Hey, thanks, Jennifer. And Jennifer shared the last one. I know she's one of your awesome followers. I remember her sharing the live post that I shared. Oh, that Jennifer's your mom? Jennifer's awesome. She
is awesome. Shout out. Thanks, Jen, for watching.
Super nice lady. Your mom's a super nice lady. Nice to meet you. And you're welcome for the information. But that's really all I got. If you guys got some questions, shoot them to Samantha. She'll get them to me. Post them on my page. I'll see them there. And hopefully Samantha will have me back at some time in the future. And I'll have her back on my page, and we'll hit you guys with the 1-2 wellness punch.
Exactly. No, absolutely. This is great. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all the super valuable information. Definitely check out Ren and follow his social media accounts. He is way better about doing videos and lives and all that than I am. It's kind of like my first live. They're a little scary, not going to lie. But he does it all the time, and he always has so much great information and so many good workout tips and everything. So I'll have Ren post his social media information in the comments below so you guys can get that. And that is all we have for you guys. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll be back with another broadcast soon. Have a good night, everyone.